Hello, I'm Christian Groff, and thank you for tuning into this month's installment of Hempfield Happenings. We have a show packed full of news and events to keep you informed. During this show, you'll learn about how the election made its way to the schools. Another new way to connect and learn about the district, called Black Knight Connections, is also being highlighted. If you've lived in the Hempfield School District, chances are you may know of the Herr Dream Park. You may also have been disappointed when it was torn down. Not to worry though, there's a worthy replacement. That and more in just a minute for Hempfield Happenings. A childhood favorite for decades of Hempfield families was recently replaced with a newer, safer model. Let's swing things to Bailey Titter to show you.
The park behind me is not only a fulfillment of one man's dream, but also a representation of a community coming together to make that dream a reality.
This is where it all began. Park founder Herr's house. His dream was to create a place for the whole community to enjoy. After years of work, this is what they came up with.
Yeah, so the East Hempfield Township has had a playground here since 1992, but it was difficult to maintain safely, and the old playground wasn't accessible for kids with special needs, and so they made the decision that it needed to be replaced.
This project has been in the works for years, and with help from many volunteers, it was finally brought to life.
It has been really overwhelming, just the support that we've gotten from the community. So we started out, we had expected to be able to build the whole thing in 9 days. We started out, we had a 3-day build, and we had about 150 volunteers that came out for that first weekend. And that's when we really got a feel for how extensive this project was, so we added another weekend in between.
I spoke to community member Allie Bish about her thoughts on the project.
It's actually really cool to see everybody come together for the community, especially like I see a lot of Hempfield kids here. The lacrosse team's here helping out, and so is the volleyball team.
We've had probably about 200 volunteers a day that have worked 12 hours from 8 to 8. And every one of those days we had 2 donated meals from the community. We had churches and groups serving those meals. So it's just been amazing how people have stepped up to contribute both their time, their resources, their food, all sorts of things to make this happen.
The grand opening of the park was held on October 23rd of this year, welcoming friends and families from around the community into the brand new facility.
There you go. You know, we really can't thank people enough for the time they put into it, the energy. So many people brought their skills and their dedication to this project that it's impossible to thank everybody that helped us.
So next time you're in Landisville, make sure to stop by the Herr Dream Park, which is the product of hard work and community. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Bailey Titter.
STEM careers are experiencing rapid growth. Hempfield High School is doing its part in preparing the rising workforce with the knowledge and opportunities it can benefit from.
It all started here at Hempfield High School with the delivery of a proposition to technology education students to develop a design for a keychain to be manufactured here at New Standard Corporation, where students' designs were critiqued and one became a reality.
With the need for more workers in the machining industry, Mr. Paul Eichelberger saw the project as an opportunity to spark young interest.
We do manufacturing. We're always looking for new people to get into our industry. And it's not something you guys hear about a lot in high school. So what came out of it was, hey, we should do a cooperative project together. So we said, hey, you know, what about a keychain?
Setting the parameters for the design, Mr. Eichelberger sent the project requirements to Hempfield High School, where it didn't only benefit the students, but also New Standard Corporation.
The design parameter was interesting. We had a really win-win thing going here. There's all these features that in my business we talk about. This is an emboss, that's a dimple, this is a profile cut. So all those features that we want these young people to know how to build in tools was perfect.
Aaron Swope designed the keychain with the inspiration of the Hempfield Black Knight. He also tells me the impact of using his skills beyond the classroom.
I was introduced to the keychain by my teacher, Mr. So. He came up and just talked to me about it and asked me if I would be interested. The only limit we had was it had to be within a 2-inch circle diameter. Like, it couldn't be a huge keychain because that would just be annoying to wear around in your pocket all the time. It was definitely interesting to see how it actually went from the computer to actually being there in real life, being able to hold it and feel it. The idea was that we just had to think of something that represented Hempfield. And I thought nothing better than the shield because the Hempfield Black Knights.
This was the first time that we were able to get students from 2 discrete classes to collaborate on one challenge together. The engineering students have a great understanding of design and how to make working drawings, and the students from the production classes and the materials classes have a great understanding of how to actually process materials. However, it's rare that we get students that can do both. So it was a great opportunity to get my students into his classroom and his students into my classroom.
As a result of that, it was kind of like touching a magic button. That was really an exciting opportunity for kids. So because of that relationship, we then began to think about how we could work together to interest students in tool and die making, machining, and the idea was that to come up with a project that we could design and see if they could fabricate it.
Students were able to experience real-world application and see what it takes to be in the tech industry. Due to costliness, only Aaron's design could be chosen.
I wish that all the designs could have been made, but when it was all said and done, his design was chosen because it hit the criteria that we had asked, and that was to represent the Hempfield logo. And his had some interesting features in it, the dimples and the rivets around the shield and things. And the company was very excited about that particular design. As a result of the project, we were able to develop an internship program where senior students can go actually work for the company. And 2 students that were on the team last year were hired by the company. One was hired for the summer employment and is now attending Thaddeus Stevens trade. And the other student is currently still working for the company.
With amazing opportunity comes great success. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Quentin Hernandez.
The United States Armed Forces serve our country, making the ultimate sacrifice. Their experiences and wisdom are invaluable. Zach Lehman reported on the method of which Hempfield elementary schools get their students in touch with our veterans with the Adopt a Veteran program.
You might see 1/100th of what shows normally when you're out over there, so it's beautiful coming back.
Here at Landisville Intermediate Center, the 6th graders had an opportunity to talk to veterans without even leaving the classroom. The principal of Landisville Intermediate Center, Mr. Rick Bentley, explained what the Adopt a Vet is.
A program that was started about maybe 15 years ago by Military Officers Association of America, chapter here in Lancaster, and they began coming to schools. Landisville Intermediate was one of the very first schools that they came to.
There were 12 veterans from all of the branches of the military, and they were split up into 6 different 6th grade classrooms.
The kids get a chance to ask questions about the military. Many of them hear a lot about it. They watch movies, they see things on TV, and with that, some of the things are pretty close depictions of what's going on. Other times they're not, so they're getting false messages. So it's important that the veterans come in and they can tell them from people who are actually there, spending their time around the world in different countries, and actually may have been involved in different wars, and they can explain to them what it's all about and what actually happened, so that they get a real-life explanation.
Each veteran has a different reason for participating in the Adopt a Vet program here at Hempfield.
I think it's a very worthwhile thing to teach young kids about freedom and what the price of freedom is, that it's not free,
It requires a great sacrifice for all the branches of the service, for the young men and women that go in the military. Some of them give the ultimate sacrifice to give their life so that our country can be as great as it is today.
I think some of them do, and I think the exposure to veterans is good for them.
The impact of the veterans is felt throughout the classrooms.
I think it's going to have a pretty big effect because there are some people who want to join the military, and these people coming here are telling them how it was.
Yes, it did help me because it kind of gave me more respect for veterans. They had to give up a lot to go serve, and it really helped me to hear everything that happened to them and their experience in the Marines. They risk their life to save our country. They do a whole bunch of different stuff to show their appreciation for the U.S.
The Adopt a Vet program has affected many kids over the years and is still affecting kids from Landisville Intermediate Center this year. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Zach Lehman.
In the lunchrooms of Hempfield, there are changes on the horizon. Testing is being done in various schools in the district to decide the future of the lunch program. Keen Fulton went to give you a taste of what may be coming soon.
At Mountville Elementary School, the cafeteria lunch prices are now lower than previous years, so I've talked with school administrators and students on why that is and what they think of it.
I've been handling the entire Director of Food Service operation since October of 2009, and I supervise all 10 schools and cafeterias within the district. Our goal at Mountville, as in all our schools, is we want to make sure we're offering them a quality meal that they're going to enjoy each and every day. We want to see our participation levels increase. I would like to see more kids participate in the program, and just to give them a variety of items that they want to see every day. At Throwback Thursday, we approached it a little bit different this year. In the past, what we've tried to do is a classic type menu, like a classic meatball sub. This year we wanted to do something a little bit different as a Throwback Thursday type feature. So what we decided to do was, well, let's go back to one of our previous school years with different lunch prices, just to change things up a little bit, maybe to give some people the opportunity that are, not thinking they're interested in school lunch food service programs, and give them the opportunity to try something different and give them a little bit of a discount. We're hoping the students will enjoy what we are serving and the environment that we have out there, and we want to see them continue to grow within our program. And we always are open to ideas that if they want to share a menu suggestion or a snack item that they're interested in, and just to continue to grow with our program and give our food service program a try.
I see you have a bot lunch there. Do you usually get that a lot?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yes.
What's your favorite food on the lunch menu?
Pizza. I gotta say probably hot ham and cheese.
Did you know that the prices are now cheaper?
No. No, I didn't know this.
I don't know really. I didn't really know that.
It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think that's cool?
I have no clue.
It's cool because now you don't have to pay that much anymore, so you don't have to lower your bank account that much.
Students of every grade at Mountville Elementary are now able to enjoy more by spending less. For Hempfield Happenings, this is Keen Fulton.
Another new way to get in contact with Hempfield School District is through Black Knight Connections, a forum open to anybody. Let's hand things to Julie Givens to get her take.
When we get to high school in Algebra 1 is when we multiply things that look like this.
Hempfield aims to keep the community in the loop about what's going on in the district. And last month at the Black Knight Connections event, they were able to do just that.
Unit folders that'll match up with the curriculum YAGs.
The premise was that it was really a redesign of our community forum. We've held community forums in a number of ways in the past, and we're always looking for ways to attract more people to come to those events. So that was the impetus behind it.
Hempfield student Austin Glass shares his thoughts on why he finds these events important.
I think that the events such as the community forum are important because the school district is really an extension of the rest of the Hempfield community. So by getting involved in that, they're also involving themselves in the whole community.
The Black Knight Connection event had many opportunities for people to gather information.
We invited people to come and participate in information sessions that were 30 minutes in length, and that covered topics ranging from curriculum and instruction to district operations and technology. So we tried to cover a wide gamut of topics for people to come out, and then we also had information tables where they could find out information about athletics, job hiring, or job opportunities that we had, as well as the Hempfield Foundation. There were a total of 15 sessions and 12 information tables. We tried to make the topics relevant to the entire community, from students to parents and guardians, and even community members who don't have children in the school district. But they are taxpayers, and so therefore they have an interest in what we're doing at the school. So we tried to make it relevant to the widest audience that we could.
The community's positive response goes to show how successful the event was.
The feedback that I heard was really great. People really enjoyed having the child care option. They enjoyed being able to grab a quick bite before they went into session. And the feedback on the sessions was great. They thought that they were relevant and pertinent to things that were happening in the schools.
It was helpful because the parents were able to get more information about what was going on in the school, other than just on the parent portal. They actually heard it from administrators.
Now, after the Black Knight Connections event, the community is more informed about what is going on in the district. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Julia Gibbons.
There was an election last month, in case you weren't aware. Jack Harrison polled around to see how Hempfield has been incorporating the presidential race into the schools.
Election time is a very important and stressful time in America, yet not everyone is eligible to vote. But here at Hempfield, we give everyone the chance to vote through a mock election.
Got some more open computers down here.
Dr. Trago and his AP government class set up and run the mock election.
So we hold the mock election every 4 years so students can sort of practice participating in elections, and we spend a good amount of the fall in our social studies class talking about elections, so it's a good way to exercise their civic duty in voting, because most students aren't old enough to vote in the real election, so we allow their voices to be heard through it.
The way the ballot is set up, students will put their first and last name into the computer. After this, they will vote for the President and Vice President of the United States. They also have the option of voting for state senators and state representatives. They can also vote for the Attorney General and Auditor General. After this, they will submit their ballot and then submit another response for the next student.
I'm a part of Dr. Trego's second period class, and we helped set up the mock election. We set up a sign up for who was going to do what, and then it was just a Google forum, so we had classes come through every 10 minutes, and they would all sit down, vote one-on-one, no one was near them telling them what to do. We as the exit pollers would pick someone out and ask them to pick who they voted for, and our exit polling matched up pretty well with what the actual polling results were.
In order to be an informed voter, you have to do research and talk about it ahead of time, and study the candidates and select the one that you think best represents your viewpoints or will be best for our country. So in a democracy, it's best if citizens do that. So we encourage students to do that research before they voted. And I know a lot of teachers talked about the different candidates and their opinions and their beliefs ahead of time too. So it's almost like a practice for that.
Kayla Torres, a student at Hempfield High School and an intern at the Downtown Republican Committee, gave her opinion on the Electoral College.
I think the Electoral College is a good thing, because if we just went off of popular vote, it'd be really messy and just hard to keep track of, and it's just a simple system to help elect our president. I think there's a lot of voter fraud, and if we went off of the popular vote, just the popular vote, then it'd get really messy, and there could be some problems because some areas might not do voting the same way.
On the opposing side, Michael Banks, a student at Hempfield High School, gives his opinion on why he does not prefer the Electoral College.
Well, I don't feel that it's the most accurate way to elect our presidents because, as you can see in this election, Hillary Clinton currently leads by over 2 million more votes than Donald Trump. And the way the Electoral College works, it favors Mr. Trump.
Whether or not your candidate won, it is sure to say that students at Hempfield are getting the finest education on how the election process works. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Jack Harrison.
For most people, snow cancellations of a school day mean a stress-free day, but for some, it's just the opposite. Julia Campbell spoke with the administrators who are in charge of making the challenging call.
As fall transitions to winter, so do the mindsets of school officials and students. During the winter, snow days are often on the horizon. Hempfield School District has incorporated snow days built into the calendar to meet the challenges presented by unexpected days off school.
We build make-up days into the schedule, primarily so that if we have to make up days, you're not tacking them all on at the end of the school year.
They're on your calendar as free days, but they also let you know that they're built in snow days, so you can plan accordingly. You can expect a day off, but also know that that could be taken away.
When weather's coming in, I'll start to look at things usually the evening before the day when we expect we may have an issue. There are 4 or 5 weather sites that I monitor. I talk with all the superintendents in our part of the county. Usually by 4:30, 4:45, I have a pretty good idea where we're headed. And we start making calls by 5 in the morning.
But whenever there's a chance of a snow day, I really think that the night before they should try to call a 2-hour delay. And then you can kind of go to bed knowing, okay, at least I'll have a delay. And then that morning they can call the snow day. Rather than just calling it all or nothing, they should kind of use the delay as like a intermediate thing to give them a little more time to make the call for a snow day.
They can't make everyone happy because there's going to be a lot of people that are wanting a delay. They think that's the prudent thing, but then there's going to be other people saying, that was only an inch of snow. Why did you close?
Because schools are now more hesitant about calling snow days than in the past, weather forecasting is an important tool in determining a snow day. Mr. Eric Hurst, a meteorologist at Millersville University, explains what kind of weather we can expect this winter.
When you have warm, dry falls like we've had, oftentimes the winters aren't too impressive following that. Here in Lancaster, we're often right around 32 degrees. So is it going to be cold enough for snow, or freezing rain, or ice, or plain rain? A few degrees can make a huge difference if you're rooting for a snowstorm. What we often lack is the cold air. We think the current mild pattern is going to continue for some time, perhaps throughout the rest of November. There'll be cool days now and then, but not like a decisive shift into wintry weather. We don't expect that till perhaps maybe even mid-December. As we get into kind of the middle part of winter, January, February, perhaps an average amount of snow.
I think they're talking about 20 to 30 inches of snow forecast across the winter, which I think is pretty typical.
Because the winters vary so much, it's hard to come up with a set number.
A typical winter, I'm going to say, is probably between 3 and 5 days that we might miss.
I guess adding more couldn't hurt. And then in the event of a huge snowstorm, you wouldn't be going further and further into June.
Although winter is approaching and the possibility of snow growing, the built-in snow days ensure inclement weather will not majorly disrupt learning within Hempfield. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Julia Campbell.
Giving to local charities and organizations is always a good thing to do. However, there's one day in particular where the community comes together to raise funds for good causes. Joel Pletcher explored what Extraordinary Give is and how it benefits you more than you may know.
On November 18th, the area's biggest day of online giving occurred to benefit local causes.
Spreading from the city to the county's surrounding locations, Lancaster's Extraordinary Give puts the people's hearts and pocketbooks in motion. The Lancaster County Community Foundation has organized the event for several years with a big purpose.
In 2012, we came together and had this idea that maybe we wanted to put together some sort of event, some sort of all-encompassing event that could bring people together and unite them around the cause of giving to organizations. Not giving to the foundation, giving to organizations who are helping to make Lancaster County better.
Through the foundation, giving is also done in a unique way.
So the Extraordinary Give is all online. It always has been, always will be. So people go to extragive.org and there's a leaderboard, there's a list of all the organizations. This year we have 427 organizations participating. They can find organizations that they care about, and then it's just a couple quick clicks of credit card info and you can donate to whoever you want. With our community sponsors and other community partners, we contribute $300,000 to the Extraordinary Give, and that's distributed amongst every organization that's participating.
For 4 years, the Hempfield Foundation has benefited from the Give.
We used to do a payroll deduction program for our employees, but decided instead of that we would do the Extraordinary Give and allow them to donate via the Give, and that helps in what is called a stretch pool. When you participate as an organization, Extraordinary Give, you actually can get a part of the stretch pool, which are donations that come in from companies all over the county. So depending on where we fall in donations, we will get a piece of that.
The foundation has both current and future plans for the money received from the Give.
Between Extraordinary Give funding and EITC funding, we've been able to do a lot of really terrific things. And some of the things that we have done is help out with the one-to-one computer program. And now, one of the things this past year that we funded with Extraordinary Give money and other funds was that we purchased hotspots because there are students who do not have Wi-Fi in their homes. As far as the art department goes, we funded a graffiti artist several times. The same man that did the tower out here in the courtyard also has done graffiti work at Rohrstown Elementary and now is going to do it somewhere else.
The Hempfield Art Department is equally excited to have these funds available.
Those funds are allowing us to extend our curriculum out into the community and to students throughout the district. Anytime we can bring these art understandings and experiences to Hempfield, and not just students but parents and residents who live here, I feel we're pushing education out into a larger entity and making the arts benefit all of us.
I think these funds are really important and they really help to purchase new supplies and really make the art department more successful in teaching students how to use their creativity.
But the Extraordinary Give goes beyond benefiting single groups and organizations like Hempfield.
So the Extraordinary Give has gotten bigger and more important every year, and we didn't realize how important it would become when we started. But it's really something that the community has kind of taken on its own, taken on its back, and kind of pushed forward. It's become this really almost de facto holiday in Lancaster County.
In total, the event raised $7.1 million, while the community and the area truly embraced giving. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Joel Pletcher.
That's all we have for this month's episode. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next month on Hempfield Happenings.